Hello and welcome to Raising Super Immunity Children webinar. My name is Abigail and together with me, I have my mom, Susie.
Yes, Susie is my name, and what a great joy to be able to co-partner with my daughter here to talk about a topic that's very close to our heart: raising super immunity children, being a mother of four. And we hope that today, thank you for coming to share our lives with us. And we have one desire, and our desire is to be able to encourage you, to be able to influence you, maybe to be able to inspire you and to impart some of the things that we have learned along our journey. Raising up, being my youngest, now my youngest is like almost 22 years old. So thank you for being with us today.
Okay, and so if you're ready, let's jump straight into it. Now, today's content shared is designed for educational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health providers with any questions that you may have regarding a medical condition. Okay, and now I have a question for all the parents that are tuning in now. And my question to you is, what's your desire for your children? So, Mom, as a mom of four, what was your desire for all four of us?
Well, my children are now in their 20s, and my desire that they will be responsible social citizens of Singapore. But when they were young, our desire was to ensure that they were happy, healthy children. Because if not, it's not easy for parents to take care of them.
Oh yes, definitely. I remember when one of us is sick in the house, you just need one child to fall sick, and then all moms know the rest will follow.
That's right.
It's like something that they all share.
Yes, that's right.
And so, you can share with us in the chat box, what is your desire for your children? But I know it is every parent's desire to have happy, healthy children.
That's right.
Yeah. And in Singapore, the top 10 children illness is like common colds, acute bronchitis, hand, foot, mouth disease. What else?
Chickenpox, eczema, sounds familiar, right? Constipation, asthma. These are all the children's common illness in Singapore.
Yeah, and not just these 10, but another thing that's on the rise is obesity. Overweight sets in early childhood. 10% of 5-year-olds are overweight.
Wow,
how
incredible.
Scary is that?
Yes.
Yeah, and the 11 to 12-year-olds today are more likely to be obese or severely obese compared to 20 years ago. And I think it has something to do with the portion size that we have, right?
Everything is upsized.
Yeah, and 70% of children who were overweight at the age of 7 stayed overweight as adults.
Oh, amazing.
So imagine, when kids are very young, we like to say, "Ayo, so cute, so chubby," right?
That's right.
But imagine if we don't see it as, we don't take heed. I mean, there's chubby and then there's fat. So we need to be discerning and know what we are feeding our children. Yes. Are we nourishing their body, or are we just feeding them out of convenience?
Yes, that's right.
And obesity is not just being fat. It is linked to high fat, high sugar, high sodium diet. And we know that this can lead to high blood pressure,
diabetes,
high cholesterol, diabetes. And to couple with that, lack of exercise and lack of activity, it will just build up.
Yeah, especially during this season of COVID, right? Homes, everyone stay at home and do your work, So everybody's in the house. Yes, that's right.
And everybody's eating, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then this is from a pediatrician point of view, where they say there are children who are overweight and obese, leading to an increased incidence of childhood diabetes and cardiovascular disease. That's scary. Okay, and then we have the other spectrum, where because of social media, the endless media focus on being slim, and that may lead to a rise in eating disorders among both young girls and young men.
And yes, that's right. So in his conclusion, he mentioned, "I hope future generations of our children are better than us. We can only do so by bringing them up right today." And that's where you are. Give yourself a applause.
Yay!
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And the beauty about being here, and if you have young children, I applaud you, because many habits are acquired during childhood. So if your child is below the age of 5, it's easier for you to make amendments, easier for you to make changes if it's needed. And good health practices is needed to be inculcated from a very young age.
Yeah. So what happened with those with children who is already more than 5 years old? Okay, I bring you good news because I started with my children when they were much older. You know, probably the youngest was then by maybe 7, 8 years old,
Yeah.
or even 9 years old, right?
Oh.
So you know, because for myself, I remember as I grow up, you know, what were my breakfast items?
Mm.
I eat prata for breakfast or supper, and I have things like chi fan, you know, kind of things. I remember. Then it's like to us, is we used to watch a lot of movies and always telling us that, hey, we eat cornflakes, it's for breakfast with milk and all that. So I grew up in a culture where we all think that these were the things that were deemed as breakfast items. So my children grew up in the beginning taking this too, if you remember.
Oh, okay. Sometimes you will have oats, but it was with condensed milk.
Okay, so but it's good news. We bring you great hope, okay, that it's never too late.
Yes.
You know why it's never too late? Because when you as a mother decide to, you will eat the same food with them. Because by setting a good example, okay, your children will watch you and they will definitely follow what you are doing. All right. Yes.
And you know, today more than 95% of all chronic diseases is caused by poor food choices, toxic food ingredients, nutritional deficiencies, and a lack of physical exercise. So this is a study done by a health ranger called Mike Adams.
That's right.
Okay, so you know, when you came for this session, we said super immunity children. Now, what does that mean?
That's right.
Could you share with me in the chat box, what do you think super immunity children means? Okay. Now, to us, super means
Excellent, superb, first class. Right.
And what does immunity mean? It means it really is just your body's ability to resist or fight off infections or disease.
Okay, this is something very, very totally mentioned all the time, very regularly mentioned, especially in this COVID-19.
Yeah.
All the virus of A, B, C, and now it's like D viral. So it just keep on changing. So if this virus keep on changing, what do we have to do? We have to build our self-immunity, which also means children and adults.
Yeah.
Okay, adults who have not done it, this is what exactly happened. They're now in ill health. So your children are in the right place because you as a mom or a dad, you are making that wonderful right choice. And I applaud you once again.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And so what is the purpose of having superb, first class, excellent immunity? It's really so that you allow your child's body to identify its enemies, meaning it's the viruses, the bacteria, defective cells out there. I mean, now
it's like a Pac-Man.
Yes, like a Pac-Man.
Yes. And what it does, it just destroys them because it's not supposed to be in their body. That's right.
So imagine if their immunity is not strong, what's going to happen is they'll just succumb to whatever illnesses or viruses or bacteria that's out there that is trying to overcome their body.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is the cause of unhealthy body then?
Yeah.
Right.
Two main causes that we, after all these years of studying and all that, and it was for me too, when I first sat in a class like this, I said, wow, it was because there's only two reasons, two principles. And one of them is because of the poisons from external and internal. And what are external? There are things like air, water, and food. And what about internal? It's about toxic and your GI. All right.
What is GI now?
Oh yeah, gastrointestinal. That means your whole your whole digestion system. All right. Yes.
Means from your mouth all the way to the
anus. That's right.
All right. And then the second part of your unhealthy body is through nutritional deficiencies due to consumption of processed, highly devitalized, and foodless food.
Yes.
Now we are in a country, we are so blessed that we are so abundant in food.
Yeah.
But the choices that we make with what we put into our mouth, that's where the difference is.
Yeah, and I think also the other sense. Remember, I just mentioned earlier about the culture and how we are brought up. So it's always like bring down from how you were brought up, and it's also very important because to us it's like we think that a plate of nasi lemak in the morning is excellent. Banana leaf breakfast, it's okay. It's rice.
Banana leaf.
Yeah, rice and because banana leaf, but we're not eating banana leaf. Right. So so we think that is a complete food. But little do we know that the question is, does this food really help to build us up? Yes.
Does it nourish us?
That's right. So I guess in this whole session, we really hope that we will be able to share what are the things and how to do it, some practical tips on doing it. Yes.
So what can we do if and you already have an unhealthy body, or you didn't start right, or your child is already in their teens or older? What can we do?
Yeah.
hope is not lost.
Yes.
Because there's two principles of natural healing. Number one is to deal with the root cause of disease, which is toxemia and nutritional deficiency. Toxemia really means like toxins being moved around in your body, that they're not able to absorb nutrients properly.
That's right.
Okay. And the next step is that our body is so wonderfully made by God that it can self-heal, self-repair, and self-rejuvenate.
Yeah. Only by doing one thing, you remove all those that are bad and you replace all those that are good. Okay. So we always have this saying, garbage in, garbage out, right? So we want to say that, hey, whatever you remove, you must replace it with the right things, the correct things. So, and then that will ensure that your body is given another chance to be able to self-heal, self-repair, and self-rejuvenate.
Right. So that is such a message of hope, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We are the hope. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we started late. Okay. So we can see this right now. So we want to share with you. Yes.
So we saw the two pillars of unhealthy body, right? So what is 6 pillars of health?
Yeah, and I like this because Abigail, you can be doing everything right, like eating well and doing everything. But if something goes wrong in a wheel, like a wheel, a circle, something goes wrong, it still cannot be right. And we want to share with you about the 6 pillars of health. It's holistic. It takes everything to make a wheel and let the wheel just go. It can just go on a road snowball, right? So one of the areas that we're talking about is the 6 pillars. One is water, okay, air, food, exercise, rest, and sunshine. And sunshine, everything must be in equal balance portion, so you become a very balanced, mentally healthy person. All right? Yes.
And if you take the first alphabet of every point here, the 6 pillars, guess what you spell out?
My favorite biscuit, wafer. WAFERS, wafer.
This is the new wafer to introduce to your children.
Yes.
So W for water, okay, air, food, exercise, rest, and sunshine. So are your children drinking enough water?
Yes.
Do they reach out for water or other kinds of water? Right? Why is water so important? Because our body is 70 to 80% made of water. Every part of our body needs water to function optimally, not just to survive.
Yeah.
Okay. How much water should we be drinking? So here's a little chart for you. You can do a quick screenshot for further future reference. Okay. This is so you will notice at different ages you will need different amounts of water to support your body
to be in optimum health.
Yes. Okay. And what kind of water do we drink?
Yeah. Okay. All of us want to desire to drink water that's very close to how nature has been created for all of us. So it's been designed for us, right, Abigail? So in this nature hydrological cycle, okay, is very equivalent to what we call a system that's called distillation, and you get distilled water. So
yeah. And so if you notice, all your primary school children will be learning this, right? The nature's hydrological cycle where your water evaporates, condenses, and then comes back to earth. And this is the way water is meant for us to drink. But because of how we have globalized, we have urbanized, our water is highly, what do you call it? Polluted, right? It's highly polluted.
Yeah.
And so with the distiller, it works the same way as how nature's hydrological cycle works, where your water is being steamed and boiled at a temperature of about 100 degrees so that it steams up. It goes into a coil and then it comes back down to you, where you can notice on the right-hand side of the distiller, where you get pure water, leaving behind all the viruses,
the residues,
bacteria, residue, inorganic minerals, heavy metals that may get stuck, that may hinder our health,
which will. Yes, that's right.
And so this is the type of water that we advocate.
Oh, yes. We do have classes that teach us a lot more in deeper detail, and we hope you can attend, okay, or speak to the person who have brought you in, and they will be able to share with you on the video or webinar on this water. So truly, distilled water is the safest and purest water to drink.
Yes. Okay. Wow.
What is the so common thing between these two pictures, Abigail?
Food.
Yeah, they're both food and they're both colors. Look at the colors.
Right.
Whoa, it just catches my eyes. We all love colors, right? Yes.
So yeah, like what Mom said, this screen is now filled with so many colors. But what kind of colors are we reaching out for?
Yes. I think you all are the best to decide which color. All right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Colorful food is very attractive, especially for young children, for anybody really. Colorful food really is not just colors, but with the colors, it brings along different additive and side effects.
That's right.
Okay, so on the right-hand side of the screen, you would notice with the colors, they often come with alphabets. That's just to
Yes.
label them. So if we learn how to read packages, labels on our packages, we will notice, hey, they're all numbers. They're all like named numbers and alphabets, and these mean that they have got colorings like this.
So let's say, for example, we get this number E110, and the colors actually is sunset yellow.
Wow.
Where can you find them in? You can find them in sweets, in drinks, and in ice cream.
But what will it do for our body?
Well, it makes you happy. As we think it will make us happy because of the color yellow, right? Like today I'm wearing yellow, so you feel happy. But the possibility of the cause will be gastric upset and allergy.
Mhm.
Little do we know, like just this number E110 can actually cause gastric upset and allergy.
Mhm.
Okay, and what about the other one called E104? It's actually called quinoline yellow, also yellow. Wow, I'm talking about yellow. Okay, so where does it come? Where is it hidden in? It's in sweets, smoked haddock, and pickles. And most of the time, it actually does lead to super activity, asthma, familiar, right? And rashes. We never thought it would. So this has actually quickened us to, as we look into buying things, we will go into what we call a label. Look at the labels and see all this. And what does it do for us? Okay, yes.
Okay. And so it doesn't just, so colors are really not just colors. Okay, what else does food chemicals do to us? They have mood alteration. Okay. Food additives chemicals can be found to cause hyperactivity in children. It has been found to interfere with cell metabolism and formation of new cells, which is so important because our body is constantly on a renewal mode. And so imagine if it hinders the formation of new cells, that's going to be a huge problem.
Yeah.
It affects healthy gut bacteria and disrupts the body's vital functions.
A survey in New Zealand found that children could easily consume more than 150 doses of different additives a day in their food, along with hundreds of flavorings and other additives that are not identified on labels. Wow, that's over 40,000 additives a year. Imagine mine. Yes.
Wow. That is scary. Just imagine just by having chemicals found in our food.
Yes.
Okay. Another study has found that brain development has been found to be impaired as a result of exposure to man-made chemicals.
Eating potatoes.
Think again.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Why think again?
What's inside these potatoes? We call our French fries, right? It contains 17 ingredients. And what's in there? You will see potatoes, canola oil, hydrogenated soya beans, sunflower oil, natural flavor, they call it. Dextrose. Okay, do you know what's dextrose? I don't know. And then there are all the names. Okay, preservative, anti-foaming, and they're all cooked in with this THBQ, right? Yes, which has proven.
It has been proven to be cancer causing.
Yes,
link to cancer causing effects and also to kidney issues. Especially
if your immune system is not strong enough. What greater, we think that we are feeding our children proper food. There's a carbohydrate, there is a meat, there's protein, and there's also vegetable, and they also have sauce. So it's a complete meal. But little do we know that what's it doing to our body, right?
Another thing that children love.
Oh yeah. I remember I used to that was my easy food for children. Picking up along the way and just letting them eat this. Then when I went for my first session and in the How to Raise Super Immunity Children by Lydia, I was listening. I said, "Oh my, children who eat more than 12 hot dogs per month have 9 times the normal risk of developing childhood leukemia." When I saw this was one of the first things that we actually did. By taking this out of our family's lifestyle. But it took us some time, over a year, So I tell children, I've been feeding them quite regularly, right? I confess I'm guilty. So what I did for them was I said, okay, children, now that we have seen this, we'll take 3 months. We will just have one time. And after 6 months, then 9 months, and then now I must say that we have been pretty successful in not having this in our fridge and not part of the food of the home.
Yes, that's right. And the person who initiated this after hearing this being brought up at a health session shared by Auntie Lydia was my brother. And at that time, he was probably 10 years old. And can you imagine for a 10-year-old boy to tell mom, can you imagine you just, by eating hot dogs, you increase your probability of developing childhood leukemia? I think we should cut down or stop, right?
And it's very scary, you may not think that you're feeding your children with this. I mean, we got so used to it, right? So some people think that this is protein and this is meat, right? And they actually put it as a meal. And you can start even as young as 2 years old, because your child like it is easy. You put it into a stick and it's easy. So it is very scary. And I began myself, we actually run, before this COVID, we actually run camps. And we know that this is something that every camp must have.
Because it's easy, it's fast.
Yeah. And we have with such great courage and to because this is knowledge, but we gather a lot of courage and we tell the whole group of dancers, whenever we both are running a kitchen camp, as we are kitchen people, we are not going to put in sausages. They were all upset with us, but we were thankful that we were able to do it, and we were able to replace something for them. And to today, after a few years, sausages have not been part of our camp food. Mm-hmm. Yes. Right, Abby?
That's right.
That's great. Yes.
And it's not just children, but mothers who are pregnant with during the pregnancy and
during conception.
And they have this on a regular basis. It increases the fetus
the health.
Yeah, it increases their risk of developing brain tumors.
Oh my.
So can you imagine, we're not just talking about children here, we're talking about, from the very moment a mom has that little one in there.
Yes.
And so, moms, if you're planning for pregnancy, I mean, it is something for us to be aware of. It's not just when they come out, then we take care of them. Yes. But it's really the state of your health right now. Okay. Chemicals affect growths in children too.
Yes, that's right.
How women too soon and men too early.
Yeah, I remember seeing a young boy, probably about 9, 10, and they actually have grown very sizable breast. Okay, and then when we discovered, we talked to them, talked to mothers and all that, we discovered that the favorite food of a child is actually chicken. Yes.
And why is chicken such a big culprit?
Yes.
Because you realize that chicken is full of lots of hormones, especially if you get chicken that is like normal kind of chicken, not those free range or
even organic chicken. Yes.
Or just kampong chicken.
Yeah, hormone laden, and there are a lot of things in there too, with chemicals and with then you understand why. Yes.
Okay. Now, what's the difference between this two chicken that you see on screen? So in 1950s, it takes about 70 days
70
for your chicken to be well developed, to be able to be sold in the market.
To be slaughtered.
Okay. However, now, I mean, in 2008, it only takes the chicken 48 days, and it's triple the size.
The
70. Okay, and so you see the effects of hormone injection, of antibiotics being injected into the chicken, and chemicals being
hormones,
being injected in them, so that they can keep up with the production and of chicken that we are eating.
Yes, and then not only chicken, we are talking even about this chicken first. This chicken story.
Yeah.
So what happens if you eat antibiotic resistant chicken? It may be very difficult to find an antibiotic that will help us get well. So it may be even impossible, says Jean Halloran from Consumer Reports. Okay.
Why? But you're just eating chicken. You're not eating the antibiotics.
Yeah. When you get this injection, right, it goes into the flesh especially, and the bones. I remember we used to like to bite the bone and chew the bones too, So you're eating everything in it. Yes.
And then you boil soup with it.
Yes. Okay. That's right.
And so, antibiotics. I mean, children get sick. If you get sick, doctors give us antibiotics. But you know what? Something to be cautious about antibiotics is it depletes our body of bacteria. Whether good or bad, it just goes in and just bashes everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that will lead to a lack of friendly bacteria that can then lead to diarrhea, constipation, intestinal problems, even digestion issues.
That's right.
Increase the risk of having harmful bacteria that's breeding within the system. And then eventually it will lead to auto-intoxication.
Correct. That's
right. And then sometimes it can even lead to yeast infections or stomach irritation. Okay. So it's not just chicken, or it's not just antibiotics that you need to complete your dose of. Do you really know what you're taking?
Yes.
Okay. Now, besides that, there's some other food groups that we try to avoid when we're raising super immunity children, or just generally looking out for our own health. Okay, and what are these 5 whites?
Okay, there's white rice, white sugar, white milk, white flour, and also white salt.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay, first let's touch on what Asian staple diet, white rice and white flour. Why? Because many a times it is stripped of all its nutrients and the wheat germ,
That's right.
making it just starch. And that's where constipation sets in. It's no longer a whole grain, or there's no more complex carbohydrate there for you to assist your digestive system in bringing everything out. Your fiber is not there anymore. It's just starch. Okay. So if you want to know how your child's health is, the first thing you want to do is to look at their poop.
Yeah, I remember when I was raising the children up and when they were young babies, right?
Mhm.
So even 1 month when they come out, so after that, when you got to bring your legs up and you sort of train them, and then you know how the poops will come out, and then we always say check the poop, and then they never realize, exactly until when I begin to really come into natural healing, and this everything makes sense to me. Okay,
Mhm.
so let us have a look at how poops should look like. Oh, there we
So this is the Bristol stool chart. So can you imagine someone actually bothered to go into the study of studying our stools? Okay, so on the screen you would see 7 different types of stools. Generally 7 types. Which do you think is a healthy consistency?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so share with us in the chat box. Which do you think is healthy, or what do you think your child's poop will look like if it's healthy?
Yeah.
Which one do you think, Mom? I know when I was younger, I was like type 1.
Yeah, you were type 1. You were very, very tough.
Was it
Yes, I
terrible?
remember. Yeah.
Horribly constipated. child.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Okay.
So what's the answer, Abby?
So type 4 is what you're looking for. Okay, it's sausage shaped or
No,
snake-like.
it should be not sausage shape. It should be
Banana.
fat. Yeah, because if sausage, it's going to be, some baby sausage and all that. So it should be actually
Even
quite-
German
yeah,
sausage.
German sausage, the big and the solid one. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Smooth,
But not
and
hard, huh?
soft, normal. Yes. So not hard. You shouldn't have them coming like bloop, bloop, bloop.
Yeah,
They
that's
shouldn't.
right.
Their face shouldn't be turning blue
Yes.
when they're trying to poop. It
Yes.
shows that their lack of water.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, and so if it's completely liquid, your child needs more fiber.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
And so this is one way to check your child's poop and the state of their health. Another ingredient would be
Sugar.
white sugar. It's in everything. They say it's almost like drug, and
Yes.
it's known to cause diabetes, cancer, obesity, and cardiovascular disease.
So how much sugar is in your drink, Abigail? And these are very familiar that we're all very familiar with, okay? And look at the amount of sugar that's in there. And little do we know actually until we saw the glass of all the sugar that was in it.
Mhm.
Okay, it's incredible.
So if moms, you won't feed your children that much sugar, why would you let them drink it? And this is just to pair it with a meal.
yes.
Okay. Another thing where sugar is always like hidden, you say, okay, we don't take sugar, but we take sauces.
Yeah.
We love our ready-to-go breakfast cereals or salad dressings. And this is where hidden sugars can be found very commonly.
Yes, and the incredible thing about this whole thing is this. We thought, all this sugar, what does it do for us?
Mhm.
At the end of it, it linked to what we call chronic diseases like
Mhm.
diabetes, hypertension, arthritis.
Mhm.
All right, yes.
Okay, but you know what? You say, I don't take sugar. I read labels and I make sure it's no sugar in there. I read, but let's read again. Does it contain sugar substitute? Two very common sugar substitute would be saccharin and aspartame. Now they are sweet tasting synthetic compounds. They are sweeter than sugar and more detrimental to our health than
Why?
sugar.
Because it's 300 times sweeter than table sugar.
Okay.
Woohoo!
Actually, even saccharin, there was a point of time where companies it was mandatory for them to put a sign saying that the product contains saccharin, and it's up to your discretion whether you want to take the product or
It's at
not.
your own risk.
Yes. Okay, another is aspartame. You will find it a lot of sugar-free biscuits or sugar-free sweets.
So you actually have the word sugar-free, right?
Yeah.
But scary side effects. Look at what it does.
Yeah.
Anxiety, headache, depression, memory fog, hair loss, hives. Incredible, right? Just to name a few. Okay, and many of us said they have no sugar in it. Sugar-free.
Yes. It's very scary. It's always found I tried finding sugar-free biscuits and sweets. So I walked down the confectionery aisle in the supermarket, and then we learn how to read labels. So we flip over, read the label, and so yes, it's sugar-free, right, like huge on the packaging. But when you turn over, it's like aspartame, saccharin.
So
Sometimes
it
it
comes
contains
in
both.
different name. That's
Yes.
right, Abigail. It comes in different name.
And then you realize you cannot buy anything in the confectionery aisle anymore. I mean, if you know what it does to your health. Okay.
Yes.
And this girl, she's only 5 and living with diabetes. So what's the fuss?
5. Oh my.
So you see, although type 2 diabetes occur more in older people, rising numbers of children and teenagers are affected. And it's not
Yes.
something that we should close our eyes to, because you never know. You may hit closer to home.
Yeah, that's right.
And the KK Women's and Children Hospital, for example, has seen an average of 60% increase in pediatric.
You know what,
Patience.
Abigail? I think this is an area that all of us as mothers would have, even parents, have to make a decision. And because love is not simple, love is not just squishy washy love. Love is really tough love, hard love. Okay, so 5 years old, just beginning of childhood. I mean, just going to enjoying life, and this young child will have to go into what we call multiple insulin injections daily. Can you imagine? Okay, so we really do hope that you do something about it, because ultimately you are the one who's going to take charge of this whole thing, right?
Okay. Another thing is white salt. Salt is not just to add flavor to our food, but too much sodium depletes our body from potassium. Now, potassium is said to be as important like calcium to our bones. Potassium is to our cells. And so our body really needs a good amount of potassium. Okay, and having high sodium will lead to high blood pressure, obesity, if it's not controlled.
Yeah. So as we're talking about just now about sauces, right? You mentioned. So where are all these hidden? So it's hidden in our sauces, our seasoning, all processed, canned, packet food, commercial snack, and baby food. Okay, everything is so easy. Yeah. So please do give some thought to it. Yes.
Oh, you see, there's this red box there. It actually highlights to us in 1999, a 3-month-old baby in Britain died from excessive salt because his parents were trying to wean him off baby food and give him
3 months old
adult food. So imagine your children's body is not ready for it.
Yeah.
And it's something that can be tutored. So if you don't give them salt early in their age, they won't know that it's salty, or they won't know like the food is natural tasting. And they will be accustomed to natural flavors, really.
So actually it's us lah, because when we feel salt, I remember my dad, when my dad discovered that he actually got high blood pressure, we said, okay, Dad, no more salt, no more MSG. He was so difficult for him because it's so used to just natural to pick up that bottle. And so we had to do some replacement on his behalf for him, So it took us some time. But it took us, I think, a long time, maybe 6 months to a year. And actually we succeeded in doing it. Okay, so it is possible. It's still possible. My dad was by then 40 over years old. Okay, my dad is still around. He's just turned 89, and he's still... he's now no salt. Gong will say no salt, no sugar. But it's a little bit too late because he's got everything.
Okay, the next one is milk, right? Commercial dairy. So drugs found in dairy cows, you will see all the different antibiotics, anti-inflammatory, antibiotics, antibacterial, all of these chemicals and hormones that are injected into the cows.
Yeah, the names of it, you can see actually, the names, you look at all the names, ampicillin and things like that. Yes.
And you see, in 1994, the FDA approved the use of a recombination bovine growth hormone that increases milk production in cows by 10 to 12%. And that's really to meet the demand, right?
Yeah, that's right.
In the industry. But this hormone plays a role in every single cancer and every type of tumor known to the medical science.
So it is very important that when we choose to drink dairy product, especially, we must choose a few things. And one of them, it got to be organic, happy range, free range cows, because whatever the injection you saw, it goes into their flesh and the bones, and we actually boil soup for the children, thinking that the bones are calcium and didn't reach strong bones. So all this growth hormone is something that is really terrifying. So please, we encourage you, even for ourselves when we don't know in the beginning. So knowledge is power. But and also applied knowledge is really something with courage. You need to do something very serious if you really want to talk about healthy health in children and ourselves too.
Yeah. And another thing, being Asians, most of the time we are often lactose intolerant.
Yes.
Lactose intolerant. And because we are not able to digest the milk protein lactose. Okay,
Yes.
and it's been known to be linked to chronic ear infections, eczema, sinus, chronic bronchitis, asthma. Look, this is like part of the top 10 illnesses that children in Singapore face. And sometimes it can be linked to just the milk that our children is drinking.
Yeah, that's incredible, because when we wean them all our breast milk, right? Or I remember that if those children who don't take breast milk, even get diseases like autoimmune diseases, and we don't even know that it's milk because we think milk is so important. It's like calcium building, is for their growth. Little do we know that it actually may have caused all these problems. So here we have a young, see, look at him smiling and so handsome. But before that, he was going through all this eczema. Look at him. And I think it was less than 3 years old, I think, in this one.
Yeah.
So we really want to hope that, with whatever they were sharing with you, it does make a lot of sense and meaning to you. Right.
Okay. Now what? Now that you've taken away the sugar, taken away the salt, taken away the milk, taken away my white rice and my flour, what can we do?
Yes, that's right. The next thing you do is to cry.
No, we want to share with you our story.
Yes.
Now, you see, we are a family of 6, right? And so our journey to vibrant health has not been like this the most easy, right? Because there's 6 people's opinions to listen to, 6 people's life style that we need to like adjust and relook at. But you know what? I think with perseverance, with intention, and with
purpose,
with our own testimonies and stories, our own experience, we realize, hey, there is so much truth in nutrition and our own health.
And I think the other degree could be very what put me pushing on is because of the understanding why are we doing this. Why are we doing this? It's not just about this food or that food, but it's actually a holistic lifestyle. So it's about everything in your life. Okay, because then I begin to understand with greater conviction and understanding. And that's where I begin to learn to enjoy all this food too myself. And I have seen my whole being, my own journey, okay, of healing, recovery, right?
Okay, and regaining health once again.
Yes.
And so you see, all of us do have our own experience, like my youngest sister, she had a wisdom tooth being grown. And she had this huge swell. Like one of the nights, she said, I couldn't sleep. She started crying and wondering what's happening with her. But and the dentist wasn't open.
Yes.
And so
over a weekend.
Mom walked her through over the weekend with managing the pain, and all she could take was smoothies.
Yeah, and we actually handle her with coffee enema, and a lot of things. But coffee enema is not new for her because she started doing coffee enema when she's young as well, probably about 14 years old or 15 years old. So, but so it was able to manage her pain over the whole weekend. And when she went to see the dentist on Monday, after 2 days or 3 days, the dentist was almost shocked because it was really, really inflamed.
I mean, not even the weekend. You see, the picture at the top was taken. So right to the left-hand corner, the picture on the top, the nail, it was taken, I think, on a Saturday evening or Sunday morning. Right after the bottom, you see it's actually a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, yes.
We had an appointment with a friend.
Yeah.
And so you see, it was that quickly. And then my brother in the middle, where he was going through hormonal imbalance.
Preteens.
Growing up, right?
Yes.
And then it showed all on his face.
Yeah, that's right.
And then mom gave him a decision. Do you want to go to the National Skincare Center to get your face sorted out? Or do you want to walk the natural way and deal with the root cause and not just on the skin surface? And so he decided to work from the inside out, and he even went through his NS, and that's after his NS.
Yeah, and I think it's so important because especially when you're dealing with children of that age, by then he was a teen already. So probably about 14 years old. So we can't just force it down their throat because they will never enjoy it. They will never understand why you're doing it. So
and they won't take charge of it, as my mommy say lah.
Yeah. So I guess it's like really guiding him through and all that. And I'm glad I did. And I'm glad that he made a right choice, But Shuhi has gone to the skin center. I think I would have allowed him to too, because that's what he wanted to do. But of course, with all mothers, you know how to handle, right? With wisdom, with a lot of persuasion in a very indirect way. Your life is the greatest testimony. Okay, so we're able to, yes. That's me. Yeah, that's right. So you started with me, but I wasn't. So I want to show. Then the other two, the hands are from two different. It's my two older girls. Okay, who actually walked through. Right inside. Because when they were young. I remember drinking a lot of soya bean milk. Okay, so.
And it's an enzyme inhibitor. Yes. So all the life enzymes that you may be having to promote and support your body's health. But when you're taking soybeans, especially when it's not sprouted on GMO, you will realize that it inhibits our body from receiving nutrients in its optimal manner.
Yeah. So little did I know, I thought soya bean, it's just a plant, right? No meat, no nothing. Okay, it's perfectly no problem. But it's when I think I was probably having Gabriel at the time, my third one, I was drinking a lot of soya bean milk every week. every week. But it came out later in her years in her health through this way. So for Gabriel, she actually really walked through a good, slowly working on it, and she had all the warts from the fingers coming out and all that. And look, it really was terrible. So she did, but today she recovered. She recovered. But once in a while, she still get a little bit of like her skin becomes red, and she know how to handle it through a very natural way.
Yes.
And for Abigail herself.
Yeah, and I mean, I have issues with my skin too, right? And I had constipation when I was younger. I remember going to the Chinese medicine, then they will massage. So it does hit all the points, but we needed to deal with the
root cause,
which is to strengthen and make my colon healthy and happy.
Yes,
yeah, and so that
right.
it will deal with the constipation issue.
Yes.
Right? And so all of us had our journey, and we're still experiencing it. It's not like, one time and then all's well.
But I guess importantly is when you are hit with it, you know how to handle yourself.
Yes.
And we must say that for the last a good 8-10 years, we have not really visited a doctor. Not because we don't like them. We love doctors because they are pretty good in diagnosing. When they are able to diagnose a problem, then from there we are able to actually choose which route do you want to take. So for every drug given as a medicine, it just adds it doesn't stop there, right? Because there will be a lot of side effect as you can see. But we are very glad to say that God is so good to all of us that for every drug there's for every drug, okay, there is side effect. So, and there's also in the natural food arena, there's also actually a very good alternative to it. So we discovered during our last, especially very good for the last 10 years, I must say, that we will be able to experience, with courage, and we've said, okay, let's do it, and that's why all of us really experience the goodness, and that's our passion, to see that it is possible to raise healthy children, super immunity children, not only children, adults. And my mother, who is actually 86 recently, because of some problem, she decided to come and stay with me, and we actually use some of these things that I have used for all of us to be on her, and she was seeing great results too. Okay, encourage you, so elderly folks.
It's really a lifestyle.
Yes,
really.
That's right.
And so I think the first line of defense, the first thing to really remember, or the first mindset change really is to let food be our medicine, and medicine your food. Or for all mothers.
Yeah, let your kitchen be your first pharmacy. I used to have a freezer laden with all the medicine, paracetamol and everything.
Medicine cupboard.
Yeah, that's right. In a freezer because you want to keep it fresh, right? So I have it all there. But today I'm so glad it has been replaced, transformed, in my fridge. Right.
Yes. Okay. And so really, first defense is food, whole foods. Introduce the rainbow to your children. Children are actually very adventurous, and it is really more like us limiting them sometimes. Inhibiting them.
Because of our own bad experiences.
Like, mommy don't like guava. Maybe my child won't like guava. So if someone wants to give my child guava, no, they don't like guava. But actually, it's mommy don't like guava.
Very nicely put, yeah.
So introduce the rainbow to your children. Allow them to experience flavors and textures of different fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
Okay. And now, what's on your child's plate? Now that we've talked so much about food and what we shouldn't put on the plate, what can we put on their plate then? Or what do we want to see on their plate?
Yay, we bring you good news. There's a lot of things to put on their plate.
That's right. But what do we normally put on their plate?
Yes, let's see.
Share with us, what do you normally put on your child's plate? Does it look like this?
That's right. I used to.
Yeah. Okay.
Kei liao some more.
Yeah, kei liao. Okay, and you see, this is a healthy plate from our, what do you call it? HPB.
Yeah.
A health promotion board, a healthy plate.
Yeah, maybe we should do this. All of us put our head on our hands on our head and say, we need to change your mindset. Really. It's not, don't go back to the same 360 degrees, go 180. Okay. So that we need our mindset change too. Okay. That's right.
So a healthy plate. Have fruits and vegetable, and then the other quarter where you have your complex carbohydrates, your brown rice, wholemeal bread, and
pasta.
A little tip: if you have never given your child wholemeal bread or whole grains or brown rice, don't immediately fill their plate with brown rice.
That's right.
They're not going to get used to it.
No.
And so start with one handful of brown rice
together with your white rice.
Yeah. and then slowly work from there.
Yeah. Today I've seen a lot of rice out there in the
Mhm.
market. They have blackberry rice, wheatberry
So
rice.
interesting.
Yeah, so you just have to work on that, okay?
Mhm.
Right. Then we have meat and others.
Yeah,
Right.
and then HPB has a very interesting song that helps us quarter half quarter or something like that.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then remember your water, healthy oils like coconut oil, flaxseed oil, because our body needs oil.
Yes.
A child needs good fat for their brain development.
Yes.
Okay, for their cardiovascular health, and so good fats are really important.
And it takes a good fat to remove
bad fats.
bad fat.
Okay, and then remember to be active. Remember the
Yes.
wafer lifestyle. So it's confirmed by our HPV board. Okay, and then make things fun.
That's right.
So imagine if you put this in front of your child and go, eat your dinner. Or you won't eat it. Okay lah. Then later you cannot eat this.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like the carrot system.
Okay. So I think a very important thing for us is to change our language.
Yeah.
And that's one thing mom is really good at. She'll tell us, wow, the broccoli looks like a tree today. Or she'll tell us, the spirulina is like green soldiers going into your body.
Yeah, you remember those days, huh? I had to like persuade them, you know.
Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so really changing our language does help us to encourage the younger ones to eat in a different light, to excite them, pressure makes them resist the food.
And also probably you use new utensils. You say, okay, this is a meal fit for a king or a queen or a prince. A prince eat this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, if you really want to do it, you can. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then, fast food that we know is fast food.
Yes.
But we want to introduce to you another type of fast food.
Yes.
And this
real fast food. And it is true slow press juices. Wonderful.
Wow. Okay. Why slow press juices and why juices? Because it is effective and easy. It's nutrient dense, the best way to pack your children's diet full of antioxidants, vitamins, nutrients, resulting in increased energy and improved health. How great is that?
Yes.
You can increase the absorption and assimilation of nutrients, and it also helps to improve their digestion.
That makes a good breakfast, actually. In fact, this has been one of our breakfasts since we right? Breakfast item for us is a must of a breakfast item.
Yes. It really boosts your day. Yeah. Okay. And this is our favorite. I mean, the type of juices that you use is also very important. How your juice is being extracted. Okay, and so our favorite is the Alpha Juicer, which is a 9-in-1 food processor. It's easy to assemble. When my brother was 10, mom gave him a assignment or a challenge. How fast can you assemble the juicer, and how fast did it take?
Well, the first time he tried was a 31 second. He was trying to figure out. Then I said, okay, let's see how fast you can do it. And then he did it within 11 seconds. Wow. So it's all good for children. Okay, it's safe and it's easy to assemble and something you can do with the children and you don't have to worry. Oh, we have pictures about children in handling the juicer. I hope we are able to show them. No. Okay, easy and fast cleaning. And the most important about this Alpha Juicer, it minimizes the pesticide level. Okay, that means the pesticide on your vegetables and fruits is all done separately.
Because the juice comes out in one part and then the pulp comes out in another part.
Right.
Okay, spare parts are easily available, which is very important. You don't want to be searching high and low. Okay, it's a safety device with a built-in device that will automatically shut the juicer if it's overheated. Okay, there's a 5-year warranty on the motor. It is a gold medal award winner. And it is recognized and fully endorsed by the UTV product board in Germany. Yes. Okay.
So importantly is you must use it. It cannot be a white elephant. Yes. It cannot be used only once in a year, once in a month. You will never use it. So it is a very daily tool that we use ourselves. And because it is a 9-in-1, we can actually do a lot of things with it. We actually do milk, almond milk, and all that. Okay. So these are the junior juice master that we, in our years of teaching classes and having children classes too, that we have conducted in Jakarta and Singapore. We realized that these are very children's favorite juices. Oranges, child-friendly oranges, carrot, and you cut with them and you actually do it together with them.
Yes.
Pineapple and green and even sweet greens. All right.
Okay.
Yes.
And you may want to do a diluted version when you give to them, meaning that you have
especially those younger children.
Yeah. So like half water and half juice, or even a quarter water and then 3/4 juice.
As they get older.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So that you don't encourage their taste buds to be used to very sweet items.
Yes.
Okay. And that because like we saw earlier, a lot of us as Asians, we're not able to digest and break down the protein, lactose. what then can we do to still enjoy the calcium, the proteins found in milk, or the goodness found in milk?
Yes. So many a times we have realized that for the Asians, we actually encourage that yogurt making is the next best choice.
Mhm.
And we were talking about organic, right? So it's really important why we should all choose organic. So that it comes from cows that are free range and happy cows. We get happy people. And why do we need yogurt into our daily lifestyle? It actually strengthens the immune system. It's alive, and because of a live and active culture, it's pre-digested protein. It has lots of friendly bacteria for digestive health, and not only digestive health, it helps in constipation. Why this? I say this because my dad was never taken any yogurt in his life. He started yogurt eating only at the age of 88 years old.
Wow, it's not too late.
Yeah, because of his constipation.
Mhm.
So that I begin to talk to Dad and encourage him. And today he has his yogurt as a meal, as his part of his tea
brunch.
time or morning brunch. He does take, and it does work for him. So it restores your intestinal flora, which actually is because of the stress and the meat antibiotic, our floral actually has been destroyed. And when you take yogurt, it actually helps in this area.
Mhm.
And then it clears up the symptoms of skin problem, resolves your bad breath, and so importantly is to choose organic, hormone-free, antibiotic and pesticide-free milk. Okay, yes.
And I think one thing to note about skin issues is a lot of times our skin is a reflection of our gut health also. So not just
Yes.
looking at your poop, but the skin is also a reflection of our gut health, because our skin
It's the
is
largest
the
organ.
largest organ of our body and the last place to receive all the nutrients that you may be getting. And so if your gut is not healthy, your absorption rate of any nutrient that you get is at minimal.
Yes.
And so your skin will then be the last place, meaning it gets the least amount of nutrients. And so, addressing our gut health is really very important. Okay. And so besides yogurt, another way to keep our gut in check is by having natural immune boosters like Immune-Flora, which is a probiotic with prebiotic, which is very important because your probiotic needs food. Just like you and I, it needs food to multiply and continue to sustain in our system. And so Immune-Flora has got fructooligosaccharides, which is millet derived, and it will continue to grow and propagate in our body.
And this one thing that we never go home without it. Sounds familiar?
Leave home.
I leave home without it. Yes. Right now is always it's one of the ever ready that we must have in the home. Okay, because not only does it help to increase your bacteria. If you have got food poisoning, you have got stomach upset, this is something that you want to make sure you can just take it easily. And most people out of 10, they love this. Okay, so if you are having if you are on an antibiotic therapy, there is a great need that every 1 hour after your antibiotic, take 1 sachet of Immune-Flora. And by the last day you finish your antibiotic, make sure that you have a good another 2 weeks of easily 1 to 2 of this sachet to ensure that your bacteria is friendly bacteria and they are still actively growing. All right? Yes.
Okay, and then next is, to combat constipation, we need to make sure that our intestinal walls our intestines are being strong and healthy. And so Kids Cleanse is a very easy, very simple, very gentle way of including fiber into our children's diet.
That's right.
Because let's be real, how many of our children love salad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like salad. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they're all cooked food anyway. So it is important because ultimately what these both products will do for all of us is to actually help us. Meantime, while you are teaching about juicing and drinking and eating all this and taking yogurt, so many new things in your whole lifestyle change, everything can get really quite chaotic. These are things that you can actually start integrating into your system very easily. Okay, and most of the time, these two are really palatable for children, even for adults. All right, yes.
And they both come in sachet form, so it's very easy to take, easy for you to bring out together when you go out.
That's right.
Okay. And the Kids Cleanse, it has a hint of orange citrus flavor.
Yeah.
So it is the Immune-Flora.
Yes.
All right. Another natural immune booster would be the Honeygir. Now, what is Honeygir, Mom?
Oh, I would love it. Honey and girl. Oh, okay, Honeygir. It's just a combination of an apple cider vinegar and a raw honey. Okay, these two are the best. Since I know about New Life and I was first introduced, this is the first 2 drinks that we were introduced to, and I tell you, we have never leave home. Oh no, cannot leave home. This is something that we have always have all the time
in
our fridge, in our home, and it's such a common thing because it deals with common illnesses, especially even a cough. Okay, you just have these two combined together. It actually helps you with your sore throat, with your cough. Okay, this is my husband's favorite friend. Okay, because he used to have many he had to take steroids and even a lot of medicine for the purpose of his long 40 days cough, 100 days cough, whatever. But today he knows that whenever he has a cough, he just take this and this is remedy. Okay,
Yes.
so and we have good news that this when we put these two together, these are very powerful because it's a natural food. These are really letting food be your medicine and medicine your food. Honey contributes to strong bones
Wow.
and it actually inhibits harmful bacteria growth. And there's a lot of nutrients. Apple cider, that's for honey. For apple cider, it has a lot of vitamins, it has a lot of minerals, it has a lot of enzymes, live enzymes. And the one that we have in New Life, the enzymes are so alive that it actually can grow, and you can actually see the color always changing. Okay, and it's here is written, it's good for what? Cough, cold, phlegm formation to reduce it. When you feel that, especially you eat food that's outside, get a lot of those phlegm, right?
And it's so hard for us
Yes.
to tell children, don't swallow your phlegm, spit it out. Oh, it's like they don't know what to
Yeah.
do with it. And so
Yes.
apple cider and honey really does help us to loosen up any like thick phlegm
Yes.
in there and help them to throw it
Yeah,
out.
and the good thing about this, last time when I knew about this, the first time when we drank, we got a lot of phlegm coming out. We thought, oh, no good, apple cider and honey cannot, body too cold, body too hot. So, we thought it was like that. But actually, we didn't realize that when you take the apple cider and the honey, it's actually drawing out the phlegm, from your lungs. And then if you go and look at your poop, you may actually can see some like mucus. Yeah. So please, these are natural ways. It's pulling out all these things for us. So do not worry, when you are getting things like that, because it's coming out of your whole body. And isn't it good to let it come out?
Yeah, you don't want it staying in there.
Yeah. So I remember this. Yes, this is a very important tip. Yes.
Okay. And I mean, Honeygirl also helps you in digestion and assimilation of nutrients. Another great natural immune booster is having good fats in our diet. Now,
Why do we need good
our
fats?
favorite is coconut oil and flax oil. Why?
It never was, right?
No.
Until we understand the why and how to do it, how to enjoy it,
Yes.
then we begin to really have this all the time in our fridge, all the time. I mean, in our house.
We
Okay?
incorporate it into our lifestyle.
Yeah.
And why is it so important? It's because it helps us in developing brain cells. Now, our children has got exams to take, right?
all the time. For the
And
first
so,
few years, yes.
it really does help them in the development of brain cells, helps to store energy and attract oxygen into our cells, which is very important. Okay, if our cells have lack of oxygen, they get it's not healthy.
Foggy.
Okay, ensures proper nerve transmission and intercell communication. It reduces inflammation and allergies. It's essential for building strong immune system. It prevents bacterial, viral and fungal infections, especially for coconut oil.
That's
It
right.
promotes healthy thyroid function, which helps them in their stress level. And then it helps to stimulate metabolism.
Okay, I think the very important thing is this, why we actually love New Life flaxseed oil and coconut oil. First, I think the coconut oil, I never liked coconut oil because I thought it's a terrible smell. But New Life coconut oil is one of the best because it doesn't give you that very coconutty smell. But it's nice, it's very light.
Fragrant,
Yes.
aromatic.
Yeah, you can just mix it into your rice. You can do, and we actually have some wonderful recipes for you too. And the flaxseed oil is really important. Okay,
Yeah.
do not ever buy flaxseed oil in those capsules because you see, flaxseed oil is a very sensitive oil.
Mhm.
And when you order from New Life, this flaxseed oil comes to you with 2 little ice bags, already frozen ice bags together to keep your flaxseed oil cool. And Dr. Lin is so particular in this. When it comes in, it's also they ensure that it is we receive it in a cold manner
Mhm.
because the flaxseed oil is a very, very sensitive oil. It turns rancid, and you don't even know when it turns rancid if you take those, especially in capsule.
Mhm.
And you see, it's in a dark bottle so that it will not be
Get oxidized.
oxidized,
Because flaxseed
yes.
oil is very sensitive to heat, light, and oxygen. And
Yes.
so when you receive yours from when the delivery guy or when you go pick it up, keep it in the freezer or the fridge. Now, good flaxseed oil will not freeze.
Yeah. And normally for me, our practice is this for a family. If it's a brand new, I'll put it in my freezer. But my fridge will be those that's open and I'm using it. Okay. So that there's always a first in, first out. And it's really very good. Right.
Yes.
So you take note of the ages, 1 to 2. You
Half a
take half
teaspoon.
teaspoon daily.
2 to 6 years old, 1 teaspoon daily, and older than 6 years old, you can take 1 to 2 tablespoons daily.
Yes.
Now, something to note, everybody wants to make sure that they use an item to its full maximum potential,
can.
right? And so for flaxseed oil, it is best to take it with a protein food. Protein food like spirulina, like yogurt. Now,
Super
this
grain food,
combination will allow it to synergize and allow our body to absorb it at a better rate,
Optimum rate.
optimal
Yeah,
rate.
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Okay.
good.
Now, ladder on some goodness.
Yes.
So-
So these are things that you actually use, like coconut oil and honey. You actually get something called coconut spread. So if you add coconut oil, honey, and you add cocoa powder, if it's organic cocoa powder, it's even better. You actually get a chocolate spread.
Mhm.
And then if you add it in with hazelnuts, you get
Ooh.
hazelnut spread. Okay, so if you have the ABC and with the P actually, we actually have the almond, Brazilian, cashew, and pecan.
Mm.
And you add a flaxseed oil and honey, you actually get wonderful, wonderful nutty spread. And all this can be done for the nuts to be actually minced using our New Life Alpha juicer.
Yes.
Okay, and even a tropical jam, you can actually do it yourself. Okay,
Mm.
you actually use a kids cleanse that we showed you earlier, with orange juice that's squeezed from the juicer, and with pineapple and kiwi, and you just mix it up, or even chop it up. Okay, which we have it in a video to show you. Okay, and the jams, you can actually do your homemade jam in the easiest and most simplest way.
Yeah, you
Okay.
don't need to. It's so scary how when I see jam recipes, it's like 1 kg of sugar to 1 kg of fruit. It's
Wow.
like, what?
So
And then you
don't
need
even
to
know.
stand at the stove and then slowly stir it and simmer it down. But you know what? All these are food that really feeds our body, right?
Yes,
And so
yes.
you don't have to say, if I take more than 1 teaspoon, am I going to be okay?
That's right.
So take it as food, like as if you're taking coconut.
Yeah,
Alright.
and it's kind of funny when people ask, hey, honey girl, can I just drink, like, how much can I drink one time, can only 2 teaspoon, 3 teaspoon, I just say, how much chicken rice can you eat? And so is it food that feeds us or food that kills us? Of course, we always laugh about it, because it's really, so I always think of myself, right? Either you eat food that feeds you or kills you,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Okay. And some other natural immune boosters, that is antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic, antiviral, anti-allergy, are these 4 friends.
And we need this in a
Yes.
time like this
Yeah.
to build immune system. So, you look at what's happening in garlic, what's in vitamin C, strengthens immunity. Look at garlic, immune booster. Look at Propo Plus. Shall we find it somewhere? Eliminate free radicals. And it is a natural aspirin, natural, it's a way how God has given us. It is a natural aspirin.
It's a natural antibiotic.
Yes. Okay. So it promotes healing.
Mhm.
And then a bee pollen is a essential minerals. Okay. It's we actually purpose boost immune system, actually gives strength. So this 4 for us is a must in a home at any time. Okay, because it helps when my children goes out and they wakes up with a little, or even in the process they feel a little bit like coughing and all that, they all know what to do now. They just go to the cupboard, the fridge, and they just take 4 of this, and they know that they will get well. Okay, they don't get well in 1 hour's time, 2 hours time, they still feel, they go back to it again and they take it again, and they know that it is needed a therapeutic amount. Okay,
Yeah,
so this,
if you need it at a therapeutic level, means when you are already you're not feeling that well, then you need a more dosage. So it can't be 1 vitamin C for normal maintenance, and then you expect 1 vitamin C to help you get well.
yeah.
So it's something that we need to look at our health and adjust. All right. Okay, another thing that we love is the spirulina.
Ta-da! Popeye food.
Yes, the mommy loves that. So spirulina is a blue-green algae, like a seaweed. It is known to be good for anti-inflammatory effect. It's soft wall, meaning our body is able to digest it very easily. It's rich in gamma-amino acid, which is essential fatty acid for our body. Rich in organic minerals like calcium, magnesium, potassium. It's high in iron, more digestible protein, more keratin.
Which means that 95% is more digestible.
Right.
So in other words, spirulina, and I love the color, especially when we take a powder, right, Abigail? And if you just drop a little bit of the water, you will see blue-green algae color.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Mhm.
Okay. So you notice that this is 25 times more keratin than carrots. But of course, we're not saying just take spirulina, because life is more than just green, dark green, and green, blue-green. You can take carrot, oranges. So you have a variety of food, and that's why you can eat a lot of different things. So it is found to have the highest whole food source of vitamin B12 and B complex, which help us to calm people, to calm our nerves,
Which is
not to super
very
kanchiong.
important
Yes,
for vegetarians, especially, or people
Yes.
cutting down on their meat.
that's right.
And another thing we love this as a natural immune booster is as a protein drink, or when we are combating a fever, when we're fighting fever. So whenever like a child is sick with fever, take a glass of spirulina with Haniger, which we shared with you earlier, right? Every hourly, because you really need the body to be cleansed of any intoxication. Because fever is not a bad thing, parents. Fever is your child's body or your body telling you that it's needing help. That
Yeah.
something somewhere is wrong, and that is the first signal to send you to show you that it's having fever.
Yeah, so managing fever is an important skill that all of us will learn
Mhm.
in actually helping in active remedy. Because do not
Mhm.
say, okay, it's natural, so just leave a child. No, you cannot do that. Okay, when a child is having fever, what you can do is a few things. One of them is to actually take spirulina drink.
Mhm.
All right, and we will show you later on ways that there are many ways of handling fever, and also in simple cold, flu, and all that.
Common
Yes,
ailments.
yes.
Yeah. And if a child is not feeling hungry when they're sick, don't force feed them.
Can you remember, Abigail, when you were young, and you never want to eat when you were sick with fever and all that?
I remember vomiting.
Yeah, she had all the food will come out, and then you, wow, you got no food, you can continue feeding, But yeah, we have learned.
But when so with spirulina, having Haniger, it really is nutrient dense.
That's
and so
right.
you don't have to worry that your child goes into like this
Deficiency, dehydration,
yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Just ensure that they do have
So you just need to
drinks. Yeah,
support their body in their journey of
healing.
regaining health
Yes.
and healing.
that's right.
Okay. And this is a story or a testimony of a 3-year-old on her
Yes.
eczema recovery. So you see, she was diagnosed with eczema when she was a
Few
few
months old. Mm.
It took a turn for the worse when she was in infant care, and due to inadequate care, her skin condition worsened, and she perpetually had bad eczema patches on her inner thigh and right cheek. If you've ever seen or experienced eczema, it's really a terrible thing. And at a young age, I don't know how she manages it, right? And they can't tell you, parents, they just cry,
Yeah.
right? And so the skin will start flaring up on the private areas, and this little girl was admitted to the hospital for scarlet fever.
Right.
While she was in the hospital, the pediatric doctor referred her to Lydia, who's our mentor, a holistic health consultant, who's also a partner in New Life, and had them explore better nutritional program for this young 3-year-old girl. And then things like Immuflora, spirulina, flaxseed oil, enzymes, vitamin C, fresh juices were all introduced to this young girl's life, and it actually helped her with her condition.
So you can see from the result, seeing is believing. Okay, a picture tells 1,000 words. With all this integrated food stuff, letting food be your medicine. Okay, and medicine your food. This young 3-year-old girl recovered.
She's now
happy
and healthy.
And also the parents must be happy and healthy too.
Yeah.
Happy. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And on top of the ingesting, right? There are some topical applications that you can do to moisten the skin or make sure, because eczema, you don't want the area to be dry, because then it will start cracking, you'll start bleeding. So you want to make sure that it's well moistened, and knowing what to put on is very important. So like mentioned earlier, coconut oil is antibacterial, antiviral. So this makes sure that the area around the skin is kept clean and sterilized. Okay, it's anti-scarring because it's also high in vitamin E. And then we have castor oil that is deep moisturizing, detoxifying, and it helps the lymphatic system around the area to be stimulated and to flow better. It's antimicrobial and antifungal, which is important, especially when you're combating skin issues.
Yes.
And then wonder oil, which is antifungal, antibacterial, and anti-itch.
That's right.
Yes.
It's horrible.
So the concoction is here if
Yeah.
you like to use it.
Yeah, if you have never experienced itchy, really, this is not easy.
Not funny.
Not funny. Yes. Abigail, I have 3 of us who have this problem. Right.
Skin issues.
Yes.
Okay, but we all had our own journey.
Yeah.
It was trying.
We did all this.
But we came out victorious.
Yay.
Okay. Oh, the next part of our wafer lifestyle. E. Now, is this a common sight?
Yes.
Especially right now, where everybody, there's no excuse. Everybody is now, like you and I, on screen time.
Yes.
Okay. And so due to that, there's a lack of physical activity, lack of physical exercise. But it is so important, not just for us physically, not for a child physically, but also an impact on their mental health.
That's right. And I think it's so important. Yeah. Mental health cannot be seen, right?
Cannot be seen,
Yeah.
but it's often overlooked.
That's right.
Yes. Okay. And so exercise does play a part in improving self-esteem,
social well-being, improves your attention, improves decision making, personal growth, okay, increase your confidence, and improve sleep. There's so many things we know about exercise. Why do we need to put our children for exercise? Physical. We're talking about physical exercise. Where they can run and they have a place, they have this space for them to be able to just express themselves. Exercising physically is really important. Okay, it affects everything.
Yes. Okay. And so one of the best exercise that we can adopt right now, and pre and post COVID, it really is a rebounder. Okay. So rebounder helps us to burn calories and energy, especially children who have endless energy.
Oh yeah, this one is for children, right? We're talking about. And these are really for children, mini trampoline. Yes.
And then you improve their bone mass, because it is very important for children to make sure that their bone mass and bone bank is well stored.
Yeah. I remember this story about Dr. Lin sharing with us when we were in Kasih Sayang. He said that when her third child, which was called Samuel, was a very active child. And that time, I think he was probably 7, 8 years old, so active. And the mom had to put him on a rebounder. I said, okay, go and do rebounder to get off all the energy that he had, And little did we know that today, now when we see him, he's at 1.9 at least. Yeah, he's so tall and so big. So the mom came out to the conclusion because he was so active and so much energy. The mom had to make him do a physical activity through a rebounder, because the fourth son, which is Daniel, is not as tall as he is. So mom said the conclusion was it's possible of the rebounder that has helped him in his bone mass, and that's why he has grown so tall in that sense. Yes.
Okay. And then it also helps to strengthen the immune system, helps them in development of motor skills.
Oh yeah, that's important. Yeah. Coordination.
Educators have studied that it also has shown a marked improvement in learning ability, emotional stability of children who bounce on a rebounder regularly.
Well, yeah, I thought there were schools in Singapore actually that we know of who has got rebounders in their schools for the purpose of exercising. Wow. Because they realized that it is a very important one area where their minds have been stimulated because when they bounce on the rebounder, what happens, Abigail?
Their lymph nodes are being able
the lymphatic system
drain out toxins.
Yes.
Okay. It also helps them to increase their metabolism, improve their posture and balance,
and also improve their focus. I remember. Yes, that was one very important area.
So a child is never too young to start rebounding, or a adult is never too old to start rebounding. So for a child, I think there are a few things that we must put in place, and one of them actually would be to put your trampoline rules. Okay, only one person at one time, and if they're young, don't expect them to do on their own. You just hold their hands and you just build the confidence from there. And you tell them don't jump; they have to jump appropriately. All right. Okay, if they are young, we have bars that they can have. All right, so take turns. They learn to take turns and to be calm, to respect and honor one another in the family. And I think this is really healthy. So for young children, please, mom and dad, set rules. And when you set the rules, follow it. Right. That's true. To follow through with what you say, because your children are looking.
Yes.
Okay. The next part of the Wafer lifestyle is rest. Now, how much sleep are we getting? Now, sleep is an essential part, an indispensable part of all our health, and even more so for young children. Okay, it's crucial for their growth development and for their body and their mind. Yeah. So here's a rough gauge of how many hours of sleep they should be getting.
They can take a picture for this, I'm talking about this area. You remember there's a few things that people talk about, and one of the very things that you always see right now for a young child to get their attention while eating, right? Even with a helper, is actually put a forehand phone and they actually watch and they are just focused on there. I think it's the beginning of many, many issues in life, So I hope parents, you put your priorities right in the sense here, because habits are formed when they're young, right? So if they're so used to having something that's focused and they're watching when they're young, even as young as 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, I've seen they're sitting on a baby chair and they're watching it straight away. Wow. There are many things that we're talking about, training their eye, the distance, the focus, a lot of things.
Attention spans are a lot shorter now. They say 5 seconds. Well, almost like goldfish, 5 seconds. Okay, right. And sometimes it is challenging to bring our child or bring the children to sleep because of the activity that we do just before bedtime. And so some tips to take note is to maybe exercise 3 hours, at least 3 hours before bedtime, so that it helps your body to slow down, to get ready for sleep. Have a regular bedtime routine. Try to go to bed at the same time every night. So if your child's bedtime is 8 o'clock every night, at 7:45, you're already in the room, maybe reading a story.
The younger the better. I think the younger.
Yeah,
that's right.
And avoid big meals before bedtime. because you don't want them to sleep on a super full stomach and then end up having that digestion work overtime.
Okay.
Okay.
So don't drink soda with caffeine and try to go to bed at the same time. Yeah. And I think the other one is making sure your bedroom is cool, dark, and quiet.
A conducive place
That's right.
for them to sleep.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the 6 pillars of health that we have covered: water, air, food, exercise, rest, and sunshine, which is so important.
Yes.
Okay. So here are some book resources that has helped us in our journey of raising super immunity children and even regaining vibrant health. Food That Feeds is a simple cookbook that we authored, Mommy and I authored.
Yes.
It is actually a journal of our journey to vibrant health. So we noted down the recipes that we use, and we want to share it with you. We had the privilege and honor of partnering with New Life to bring these recipes to you, and we hope that it will be a tool that would inspire and help your family to kickstart your journey to vibrant health.
Yeah. And we know that in today's generation, many families do not like to cook. And I tell you this, the book for it, because it's so simple. It's putting, like for example, putting coconut oil, 1 tablespoon, and 1 tablespoon of honey, and put in the fridge. And after you take it out and you just mix it up and you get a very nice coconut spread. Is that easy? There's not much cooking to be done.
There's no cooking to be done.
Yeah. So I saw this as spread. So we thought, we put all this in, and we do have soft copy and we also have hard copy. Those of you, you can buy it from New Life. This one book that you need to read is on fresh and vegetable juices used for therapeutic purposes and even for daily uses. And why do you need juices? I think this is so important. And for most parents, this is a wonderful book to read that you want to read how to raise a healthy child, because here Dr. Robert Melanson talks about even a very simple thing about fever, understanding fever. Do not panic. About when a child have a fever, how to go about doing it. Yes. So with all this that we have learned and put at practice, and most important is to practice, not only to practice, but to practice with my family. We have seen the results and the benefits of practicing it. So Lydia has put this book together on how to raise. Oh yeah, sorry. Before you do that, which one is coming first?
Okay. Lydia has put this.
We are very thankful
to
Lydia for putting this together, calling the Raising Super Immunity Children Natural Remedies for Common Childhood Ailments. So what do you do when a child has a cold? What do you do when a child has hand, mouth, foot disease? Wow, panic. So, but see, like we said earlier, for every drug that has been prescribed or taking, we are very glad and very happy that in natural healing, there is also an alternative. There is hope, because with natural alternative medicine, you do not go into side effects like antibiotic, right? Killing all the friendly bacteria. Yeah. So it's really, we are very thankful. Leader, to you, we say thank you. Okay, so I'm going to do a very fast one. Not because we don't want you to know, but rather because if you want to have a copy, we are more than happy and delighted to share with you. Okay, so you at the end of the session, just put on the chat box to say that yes, I would like to have a copy of this.
There'll be a QR code or a link for you to show your interest in it.
Yes.
Before we go on, we want to show you, we also do have video resources. So, we do give you handles on how you can make your own yogurt, your own almond milk, how to put together Haniga so that it's really quick and easy when you want to drink it, how you can make your own spreads like your coconut oil and your chocolate, your own jam, and how to wash and maintain your fruits, vegetable, maintain your alpha juicer. Okay, so these video resources are all available. You can also request for it later.
From your friend who brought you, or even
from the QR code.
Yeah, QR code.
Okay, and so remember that each day of our lives, we make deposits in the memory banks of our children.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to go through very, very quickly on very common ailments and what you can do.
Right. So like, for example, a cold, when you see your child having running nose, I used to, like I said, quickly go in, take paracetamol and feed the child. And then it stopped. Oh, very happy. After 4 hours, it come back again. Okay, take another time, But then when I began to choose the more natural way, all we need to do is to understand what's going to work for colds and flu. Like 1 to 5, 5 to 12, and those above 12 years old. Again, we have actually written it out. Lydia has put it in here because of her working with a lot of children, with doctors and with children, and these are things that we will now actually tell them. So it's like, for example, vitamin C, Propoplast, garlic parsley, how much you take, and you first feed your child with it. All right, you're feeding them with food it's a whole food, what do you call this?
Whole food
supplements. Yeah, whole food. Yes.
Okay, then you have got cough there. here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you notice there's so many. Let's say, for example, there's so many, right? Kids can say, "Oh, my children will take so many." So if you think you can't handle, just take two. Maybe in your fridge you have two. Just handle two first. If a child, maybe it can rectify. No, let's say for constipation, you just immediately take Immoflora and you take the kids cleanse, and you don't have the rest of them, or you have Honeygirl most of the time. You don't have garlic, you don't have vitamin C, and you say, okay, I don't have this too. Then don't take that too. Just take kids cleanse and Immoflora.
Start away
Okay,
you can.
start away you can. Surely you're putting food in your system. The body is clever enough, smart enough. It will be able to self-heal. And then after 2 hours, 3 hours, you don't see that there's any improvement, then you may increase your garlic parsley, you may give vitamin C. Or if you have everything and you want to do everything, go ahead, because these are all food. Let food be your medicine. All right.
Okay. For diarrhea, Immoflora is a lifesaver.
Yes.
Okay.
And how much can you take for Immoflora? We have a case where a person gets into a food poisoning, and it was a really, really solid kind of bacteria that the person was having. The person actually had to take even up to every 2 hours, just take two sachet,
Wow.
up to even 10 for the whole day.
Oh.
So is there a problem? Is there overload? We give you good news. No overload. The overload is a lot of friendly bacteria in you. And after the 10,
your body will
be able, but
release.
they got well. They just got well. Right. Yes.
Okay. So diarrhea, what can you do for ear infections?
Very common. The pain that goes in the ear, and all that. Yes.
So there's a remark though, for those 5 to 12 years old and above 12 years old, consult a nutritionist or trainer first before doing the hydrogen peroxide ear cleaning. Okay, so this is hydrogen peroxide cleaning, really is hydrogenated water. Oxygenated water. And it does go in and help us in cleaning our ear, which is very effective in our ENT infections. Okay, but you do want to consult a New Life nutritionist or health trainer first before you try it on your child.
Yes.
All right. And the eczemas, we've got carrot juices, vitamin C, flaxseed oil, case salt, enzymes. Enzymes helps us to break down any inhibitors and for our body to receive the other nutrients very quickly.
Yeah, and also to help digestion. Okay, digestion is very important.
Okay, and then eczema is so long. Spirulina, coffee enema, if your parent is comfortable in allowing your child to do it, because it is very effective in cleansing the blood and the liver, which is the start of a lot of skin issues.
Well, one of them is actually you will come out through what you call itch, right? Very itchy. So once you go and do a coffee enema, the toxins are clear out, and so that you will get lesser itch. And that's what you want to do, because when it's itch, what do? You will itch, you scratch it. And when you scratch it, you get blood and everything, and it get worse and get worse. Okay, so this is a very important skill that you like know and you learn and you practice it and you understand why you're doing it.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, and then for fever, really simple, right? Okay, carrot juices, vitamin C, Propoplast, garlic parsley, Honeygirl cocktail, spirulina, remember, hourly. And then if you are very daring, you can do a coffee enema for them.
Yes.
Okay, and the hand, foot, mouth disease.
I think for coffee enema for fever, it has been actually done on a child as young as 2 or 3 years old, because the fever is just very persistent.
But it's really very effective.
Yeah, do go back to your person who has introduced you, even a health coach or a trainer.
Yes.
All right, who will be able to walk you through.
Okay, and then this is for hand, foot, mouth disease.
Wow, yeah.
And mouth ulcer. Sometimes ulcer, we just put in honey onto the ulcer and then you
just get well.
Yeah. So sometimes you don't even need to go through all this.
Yeah. Sometimes you just put a Propoplast.
Yes.
So just try it one at a time. If you feel that it's just too overwhelming. So, but these are things that are good for it. So just like I remember even when I once in a while I do have an ulcer that comes out once in a while, and I just put in my Propoplast and I just recovered. Okay, very quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and then indigestion, bloating, gas, or stomach ache. These are some things that you can do. Sore throat. No, you can do this. For us, we found apple cider honey just really very fast.
Yeah, very fast.
It.
And even just taking Manuka honey.
Yes.
Okay, the only thing about children, just have to take note of it. Yes.
All right. For children under the age of 1, their body is not ready to take any bee product yet. So Propoplast and Honeygirl, we would try to abstain from those for those below the age of 1.
Yes.
Okay, so to all parents, this is something I want to share with you, that the greatest wealth is health.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, and to remember that we are all so wonderfully made.
That's right.
Okay, especially children. research has shown that children respond so much faster and more completely to nutritional therapies as compared to adults.
Even the mind.
Yeah, and so it's really important for us to start them young.
Yes.
Okay. And to all mummies and daddies here, we want to tell you to take a moment to look into your child's eyes,
listen
listen
to
to
his
him
whisper, and hear
hear
him
him
say, "Mommy, give me a hug,
and
not
not
a
a
drug."
The doctors of the future will no longer treat the human frame with drugs, but rather
will cure and prevent disease
with nutrition.
Thomas Edison. Wow, it just bring me great assurance that we are doing the right thing. We are
Mhm.
really walking the very narrow path. But surely, I think with what we have done for my 4 children, even myself and my husband, we are not all the way there. But because of the community that we have and the passion of all our health coach and our trainers to just continue to educate and to impart knowledge and to share our lives, I'm sure that one way or another you will be encouraged, you'll be inspired and be influenced. You need courage to say yes. I've seen you done it. I will do it. And after taking 2 vitamin C, you don't get well. Don't give up. 2 hours, I take 1 more vitamin C. Okay, don't give up. As much as you take a drug, paracetamol medicine, I remember every 4 hourly, I very quiet, I will make sure my child takes because I don't want the fever to come up. So what more? If it's a food, let food be your medicine and medicine your food. It's such a freedom to know that there is hope and an answer to every illness and disease, right? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, with all that we have shared in our last 1.5 hours, it is time for us to just take half a minute to think of something that whammed you. What do you mean by wham, Debbie?
What's one thing that wow you today? I never knew that. Learn something new today. For me, it was the sausages at time, many, many years ago, and I took that out of my kitchen. Okay. So what's one thing that made you go, I think I can try that?
So like when we went for our first, the same sharing, we tried the nut butters. And that was something that we thought we could try.
Yes.
Yeah. And then what's one thing that you must try now? Like, it's so exciting. I've heard this and wow, I want to really try it now. Whether try on myself, try on the children. I want to incorporate that into our lifestyle.
Yes.
So share with us in the chat box on what is one thing that whammed you today.
Yeah.
And while you are sharing with us in the chat box, there will be a QR code that will be showing to you shortly where you can scan and or even a link that will be shown so that it will give it so that you can have resources that we shared with you earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can feel free to scan, or now if you do have any questions, feel free to also type it into the chat box and we will try to address that shortly.
Yes.